The last email notification chimed on my phone as I shut down my laptop. Another successful day at TechVision, the software company I'd built from scratch over the past 5 years. I glanced at the framed photo on my desk. James and me on our wedding day, his arm around my waist, both of us beaming at the camera. 5 years of marriage, 5 years of building this company together. At least that's what I thought. My name is Emma Chin, and at 32, I had everything I thought I wanted. A thriving tech company, a beautiful home in San Francisco, and a husband who supposedly supported my dreams. But that night, as I packed up my office, I had no idea my whole world was about to implode. Working late again? James's voice made me jump. He stood in the doorway, hands in his pockets, watching me with an expression I couldn't quite read. Just wrapping up, I said, gathering my things. The new client presentation went well. They're excited about the security features we've added to the platform. He nodded, but something felt off. James had been acting strange lately, distant, secretive. I brushed it off as stress from work, but tonight felt different. We need to talk, Emma. His tone sent a chill down my spine. I sat back down, my heart racing. What's wrong? I'm leaving. He stated it simply, like he was announcing the weather, and I'm taking control of TechVision. For a moment, I couldn't process his words. What are you talking about? This is my company. I founded it. He laughed, a cold sound I'd never heard from him before. Oh, Emma, sweet, naive Emma. You really think you could have built all this without me? My connections? My expertise? I coded every line of that platform myself. I shot back, anger rising in my chest. I pitched to every investor. Using my network, he cut in. Face it, Emma, you're nothing without me. And now, he pulled out his phone, showing me an email. The board has voted. Effective immediately, I'm the new CEO. My hands shook as I read the email. Somehow, behind my back, James had convinced the board to vote me out. My own company, my creation, was being taken from me. How? I whispered, though the pieces were starting to fall into place. The late nights at the office, the secretive phone calls, the way he'd insisted on handling all the legal paperwork when we brought on investors. It was almost too easy, he said, smirking. While you were busy playing programmer, I was making the real moves. Building relationships, securing loyalties. They all know you're just a diversity hire anyway. The female Asian founder who makes good press. But the real power, that's always been me. I stood up, fury coursing through my veins. You can't do this. I'll fight you. With what? He laughed again. I've already transferred all our core code to my private server. The client list too. Good luck starting over with nothing. He walked over to my desk, picking up our wedding photo. You know what your problem is, Emma? You never learned to play the game. Tech isn't about code, it's about power. And you? You're powerless. The sound of glass shattering made me flinch as he dropped the frame, our smiling faces now cracked and broken on the floor. Clear out your desk by morning, he said, turning to leave. Oh, and Emma, don't bother trying to log into the system. Your access has been revoked. I stood there, surrounded by the remnants of my life's work, feeling everything crumble around me. But as I watched him walk away, something inside me hardened. He thought he'd broken me, but he'd just lit a fire. Thank you, I called after him. He paused, turning back with a confused expression. For what? I smiled, though my heart was racing. For the motivation. The next morning, I arrived early to find my keycard already deactivated. Security escorted me to my office, where I silently packed my personal belongings into a box. As I walked through the office one last time, I saw the pitying looks from my former employees. People I'd hired, mentored, believed in. James watched from his new office, my old office, as I left, that smug smile still plastered on his face. He thought he'd won, that I'd disappear quietly into obscurity. He had no idea what was coming. That night, in my empty apartment, James had already moved out, leaving nothing but a divorce petition on the kitchen counter. I opened my laptop and began to code. I didn't need his stolen codebase or client list. I had something better, knowledge, determination, and a burning desire to prove him wrong. You're nothing without me, his words echoed in my head as my fingers flew across the keyboard. I was about to show him just how wrong he was. Would you like me to continue with the next part of the story? 6 months after James took everything, I was working out of a tiny co-working space in Oakland. living on savings and determination. My new company, Phoenix Tech, was starting to take shape. Instead of copying TechVision's security platform, I'd identified a gap in the market, AI-driven threat detection that could adapt and learn in real time. The irony wasn't lost on me. James had stolen my old code, but he forced me to create something better. My phone buzzed, another email from my lawyer. The divorce proceedings were getting messy. James was trying to claim intellectual property rights to my new venture, arguing that the ideas had originated during our marriage. But I documented everything meticulously this time. Every line of code, every brainstorming session, every development milestone, all dated and timestamped after our separation. Ms. Chen. A voice pulled me from my thoughts. Lisa, my first employee, stood in the doorway of my makeshift office. Fresh out of Berkeley's computer science program, she reminded me of myself at her age. Brilliant, eager, and underestimated. The demo is ready, she said, practically bouncing with excitement. I followed her to the development area where our small team had gathered. 5 people, that's all we were. A far cry from TechVision's 100+ employees. But what we lacked in numbers, we made up for in talent and drive. Show me, I said, taking a seat. The demo was flawless. Our AI system detected and neutralized threats faster than anything on the market, including TechVision's platform. But more importantly, it learned from each attack, growing stronger and more intelligent. This is incredible, I breathed, watching the system adapt in real time. How soon until we can present to investors? 2 weeks, Lisa replied confidently. We just need to polish the interface and run final testing. I nodded, hope blooming in my chest. We had something special here, something that could change everything. The next morning, I received an unexpected visitor. Sarah Martinez, TechVision's former head of sales, walked into our office unannounced. Nice setup, she said, looking around our modest space. Different from the old days, huh? I tensed. Sarah had been one of the first to align with James during the takeover. What do you want? She sat down, her expression serious. Things at TechVision. They're not good, Emma. James is running it into the ground. The platform's stagnating, clients are unhappy, and the best talent is jumping ship. And I kept my voice neutral, though my heart was racing. I heard rumors about what you're building here. She leaned forward. Word is, it's revolutionary. I want in. I studied her carefully. Why should I trust you? Because I was wrong about James, she said quietly. We all were. And because I brought you this. She pulled out a USB drive. Internal reports showing serious vulnerabilities in TechVision's security platform. James knows about them but won't allocate resources to fix them. He's too busy trying to impress investors with flashy features. I took the drive, my mind racing. This was valuable intel, but something didn't feel right. What's the catch? Sarah smiled. No catch. I just want to be on the winning team this time. And Emma? That's you. After she left, I had our team analyze the USB drive for malware before accessing it. The reports were legitimate and damning. TechVision's platform had critical security flaws that put clients at risk. I stayed late that night, wrestling with what to do. The ethical thing would be to alert TechVision's clients about the vulnerabilities. But James would find a way to bury it, and it would tip our hand too early. No, I needed to be smarter. Strategic. I called an emergency team meeting the next morning. We're accelerating our timeline, I announced. I want us ready for demo day in 1 week. 1 week? Lisa's eyes widened. But we haven't finished testing. Then we work around the clock, I said firmly. Trust me, our window of opportunity is now. The next 7 days were a blur of coding, testing, and refining. We practically lived in the office, surviving on coffee and takeout. But watching my team push themselves, seeing their dedication, I knew we had something special. The night before our first major investor presentation, I received another unexpected visit. This time, it was Marcus Wong, one of Silicon Valley's most influential venture capitalists. Impressive space, he said, his tone slightly sarcastic as he took in our humble office. We prefer to invest in product rather than appearances, I replied coolly. He smiled. James told me you'd say something like that. My blood ran cold. You're in contact with my ex-husband. He suggested I stop by, Marcus said, examining his expensive watch. Wanted me to see what you're working with. Or rather, what you're not working with. I stood up, anger coursing through me. If you're here to mock us, you can leave. On the contrary, he said, his expression shifting. I'm here because James is worried. He's been trying to block your meetings with potential investors, spreading rumors about you. And when someone that powerful is trying that hard to stop something, he smiled. Well, it usually means there's something worth seeing. I studied him carefully. And what exactly do you want to see? Everything, he said simply. Show me what's got James Chen running scared. For the next 2 hours, I walked Marcus through our platform. I showed him the AI's learning capabilities, the adaptive security features, everything we built from scratch. When we finished, he sat back, silent for a long moment. How much are you looking to raise? He finally asked. 5 million, I replied, for 20% equity. He shook his head. Not enough. You need to think bigger. He pulled out his phone, typing quickly. I'm transferring 10 million right now, for 15%. I stared at him stunned. Why? Because revenge is a powerful motivator, he said, standing up. But what you've built here, this isn't about revenge anymore. This is about revolution. As he walked out, my phone buzzed with a transfer notification. $10 million. Enough to scale, to hire, to finally compete with Tech Vision on equal footing. I immediately called Lisa. Get the team in here. We're going shopping for a real office. The next morning, as we packed up our little space in Oakland, I found our first whiteboard covered in early sketches and ideas. At the top, in my handwriting, nothing without him. Watch me. I smiled, taking a photo before erasing it. Phase 1 of our journey was over. Phase 2 was about to begin. With Marcus Wong's investment, Phoenix Tech transformed overnight. We moved into sleek offices in downtown San Francisco, hired top talent, and accelerated our development timeline. But the real game changer came 3 months later when the cybersecurity world was rocked by a massive data breach. TechVision's platform had failed catastrophically. A vulnerability, the same one Sarah had warned me about, left dozens of major corporations exposed. Client data was compromised, stock prices plummeted, and the tech media was having a field day. I was in a meeting when James called. What did you do? He demanded, his voice shaking with rage. I didn't do anything, I replied calmly. Your platform's vulnerabilities did this to you. You knew about them. You could have warned us. Like you warned me before stealing my company? I couldn't help the satisfaction in my voice. Besides, I did try to warn you. Sarah Martinez brought those reports to your attention months ago. His silence told me everything. Face it, James, you were so busy playing power games that you forgot the most important thing, building something that actually works. The next few weeks were chaos in the tech world. TechVision's clients were jumping ship en masse, desperate for a secure alternative. And there we were, Phoenix Tech, with our revolutionary AI-driven platform ready to step in. Our first major client was Goldman Sachs, formerly TechVision's biggest account. When their CTO saw our demo, he signed on the spot. Others followed quickly: Microsoft, Oracle, Twitter. Each success felt like a vindication. Then came the moment that made it all worth it. I was being interviewed by TechCrunch about Phoenix Tech's meteoric rise when the reporter asked about James. Your ex-husband's company is struggling, she said. Any comment on TechVision's recent troubles? I smiled, thinking of that night in my office when he told me I was nothing without him. Innovation doesn't come from power plays or corporate politics, I said. It comes from passion, determination, and the willingness to start over when necessary. TechVision forgot that. We didn't. The article went viral. Within hours, Phoenix Tech's valuation hit $1 billion. We were officially a unicorn. That evening, as I stood in my new office overlooking the bay, Lisa knocked on my door. There's someone here to see you. It was James. He looked different, tired, defeated. The arrogance was gone from his stance. I'm selling TechVision, he said without preamble. I raised an eyebrow. And you're telling me this because? Because the only serious offer is from Cisco, and they want you to run it. He laughed bitterly. Ironic, isn't it? They want to merge it with Phoenix Tech, under your leadership. I let his words sink in. Everything had come full circle. You know what the funny thing is, James? I said, walking to the window. None of this would have happened if you hadn't betrayed me, You gave me the greatest gift possible, the motivation to build something better. He stared at me, realization dawning in his eyes. You planned this. All of it. No, I corrected him. I just worked harder than you, built better products than you, led better than you. Everything you accused me of not being able to do without you. I did it. And I did it better. After you left, I called an all-hands meeting, looking out at my team, now over 200 strong. I felt a surge of pride. Phoenix Tech started as one woman's revenge story, I told them. But it's become something much bigger. We're not just a company. We're proof that sometimes the best success stories start with someone telling you you'll fail. 2 weeks later, I signed the acquisition papers. TechVision, the company that had once been stolen from me, was now a division of Phoenix Tech. The price tag? $500 million, a fraction of our valuation. James's name wasn't anywhere on the new organizational chart. That night, as I packed up my old wedding photo, the one he'd shattered, I finally felt at peace. The broken glass had been replaced, but I kept it as a reminder, not of what I'd lost, but of what I'd gained: strength, independence, and the knowledge that I was never nothing without him. I was everything without him. And that was worth more than any revenge. As news of the acquisition spread through Silicon Valley, I received hundreds of messages from women in tech, sharing their own stories of being underestimated and overlooked. Each one reinforced what I'd learned. Success isn't about proving others wrong, it's about proving yourself right. Phoenix Tech continued to grow, expanding into new markets and technologies. We launched a foundation supporting women in STEM, offering scholarships and mentorship programs. The girl who'd once been told she was nothing was now helping others become something extraordinary. And James? Last I heard, he was trying to launch another startup. But Silicon Valley has a long memory, and some bridges, once burned, stay that way. As for me, I keep that broken wedding photo in my desk drawer. Not because I need it anymore, but to remind myself and others of an important truth. Sometimes the people who try to break you end up making you unbreakable. That's the thing about phoenixes, they don't just rise from the ashes, they soar.